Hi, I'm Melissa.
And I'm Amber.
And you're listening to the AM Podcast. So, today we're going to be reviewing the first 10 episodes of a new historical romance drama, River Where the Moon Rises, which is based on the novel Princess Pyongyang by Choi Sa-gyu. So, let's start with the synopsis. Born a princess and raised a soldier, Pyongyang is a woman with big dreams and limitless ambition. She is determined to become the first empress of Goguryeo and is more than capable of taking them on. With meticulous planning, she sets out to make her dream come true. But things take an unexpected turn the day she meets Ondal. A peace-loving man whose only goal in life is to live in harmony with those around him, Ondal is the exact opposite of the ambitious princess. The two fall in love, and in the midst of this, players from all sides converge in a lethal battle for the throne. Forced to match both wits and strength against some of the most powerful men and women in Goguryeo, Pyongyang's vie for power could very well cost her everything. Does she have what it takes to make her dreams come true, or will the price she realizes she must pay prove to be too much?
Before we get into the review, for those of you who do not know, Kim Ji-soo has been removed from the show due to confirmed allegations of past school bullying. NBC's investigative program even recently interviewed the alleged victims. Basically, they confirmed that the allegations were true and want him to pay for what he did. Na In-woo has since taken over for the role of Ondal for episodes 7 through 20. Due to the situation, replays of the first 6 episodes were removed from Korean video on demand sites. They will reshoot these episodes and then will resume replay services.
Okay, so that was the synopsis and a little background up to where we are now. So now we'll move into the review of episodes 1 through 10, starting with our thoughts on the characters so far, specifically the two main characters. So, Amber, what were your thoughts about Hyun Ga-jin or Pyongyang? She was mostly referred to as Ga-jin throughout the show, at least thus far, through episode 10, so that's how we're gonna continue to refer to her.
Yeah, Ga-jin has her own interesting story, but ever since you're first introduced to her character, you can tell she's very strong, and I really like that she is the that strong female character, because I feel like you don't see that in a lot of shows. And I think she's loyal and kind-hearted and fair, and I don't know, even though she didn't, for some of her life, she didn't grow up as a princess. Okay, well, I guess I'm going into it a little bit, but for part of her life, she didn't remember who she was. I don't know. She still embodied the character of what you would expect a princess, like a strong princess, to be. And so, yeah, I really admire that about her. What about you?
Yeah, that's interesting that you said that even though she didn't remember who she was like the first the second part of her life, I guess. But even though she didn't grow up in that princess atmosphere, she was still like very fiercely loyal to those around her, which is what you would kind of expect someone like in that princess or leader, that type of leadership role. Like you expect them to have that kind of loyalty to like their people and to make those like decisions like for the people's good, I guess. And it's interesting that she showed like she was very fiercely loyal, which I absolutely love about her. And like when she decides that that she's for somebody, like she's somebody, like she's like, I don't know, I guess specifically I'm thinking about the twins, and the lengths that she went to rescue the twins when they were in trouble. It's just interesting that they weren't related to her, but because she grew up with them and because that she considered them her family, like she would do so much for those that she truly cared about. And then also, anyways, there's various points throughout the show where she has shown her loyalty. So that's interesting that you said that. But I also liked that she was unafraid to take on a challenge. I wonder if it, I don't know if I finished my sentence, my word, challenge, but, and even though, because she was in a lot of dangerous situations
Mm-hmm.
too, and so I don't know if it's kind of like a flaw, but I guess she also wasn't afraid because she had the training. Like, she has the background to fight. She knew how to handle herself in these situations. So I don't know if that's also why she was like, you know what, even though this is dangerous, I'm still gonna go do it because I know how to fight. So I don't know if that was part of it. But because of those her her character traits, I think she's going to be an amazing leader. And I don't know if that's going to be, you know, if she's going to ultimately become the princess. I mean, because I guess she was born a princess, so she's supposed to be the princess, but I don't know if she's going to ultimately become, well, technically she's a princess now. I guess what I meant to say is if she's going to become like the queen is what I guess I should have said. Like, I don't know if she's gonna ultimately do that in the end, but she would definitely be an amazing leader. Like, the way that she um has this ability to bring people together, or at least her passion for the people. And yeah, I guess it's all. Okay. So, moving on to the other main character, we have Andal. Amber, what are your thoughts about Andal so far?
As far as Ondal the character goes, I like how he plays a fool, but he's actually very aware of what's going on, and he's very strong. Cause when you first meet he, I think the first time we meet him, he well, the adult version of him, excuse me, the adult version of him, he I think he helps her or saves her. No, I think he's saving a deer. He's saving a deer from
Oh,
them being capped, like from it, I guess, suffering. And so,
from poachers,
yeah,
right?
because I guess they were gonna not kill it in a humane way. I guess I don't know if that's the right word to use there, but hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. so I mean it really showed that he's also caring while still being like this tough guy, but still pretending to be a fool. He's very complex. He's a complex character in my opinion. Cause sometimes I'm like, oh, he's like a child, he's foolish, but then other times I'm like, oh, like he's strong, like he's a man. So yeah. But I also think Ondal and Kajin kind of work together very well because they hold some of the like same core values. Like he is very loyal and like I said, he's kind and he's also fair. Like he tries his best for everyone to, I guess for wanting to like everyone just to be equal in a way. Um so yeah, that's how I feel about the character. Now, I guess since we're talking about Undao, like I am still warming up to the new actor, Inwoo, who's playing him now. That yeah. He looks a little too clean cut to be living in the ghost village for me. Like when he was dressing up, pretending to be like a nobleman or from somewhere else, or I don't know, of higher status. I was like, that fits him. Like that whole look fits him. That's how he's supposed to look. So, yeah, that's how I felt about I guess the way he looked. But as far as his acting, I felt at first he was trying to imitate how Jisoo was acting out the character instead of kind of settling in and finding his own way to play the fool. Um, and so when we were first introduced to him in episode 7, that like I really felt that, but like kind of later on where you got through like kind of to episode 10, you kind of see him start kind of falling into his own way of acting out the character. I'm not saying it's the best, but he's falling into it. But one more thing I want to say about Ondao the character, I think I don't even know if it's like a character thing, but I love how he held what his father told him to kind of just like live life as a fool, like go through life living life as a fool, like don't do anything that will make you stand out too much, just because I guess he didn't want him to live the same life that he did. And so it's interesting that he's trying to like hold on to this promise that he made to his father that he'll do, while still, like I said, he's very aware of what's happening and wanting to help and do something, and I guess get his people to be acknowledged that they're not traitors anymore. And so I don't know, I'm interested to see where his character is going to go with this battle of like following what his dad said and being him. But I like his character a lot so far. I don't know, I like Hajin and Ondao a lot. So yeah, I talked a lot. Sorry, go ahead, Melissa.
No, this is a very thorough like analysis of the character. So yeah, I mean, I don't know that I had. I mean, I think he's very well, from the beginning we see how kind and like warm-hearted he is, how warm-hearted he is, and how he does care like deeply about others, you know, like you said with um how he was trying to save the deer when the deer was caught from, you know, dying in a more humane way. um I I really like his positivity. You know, because when he's caught in certain situations, he still managed to, you know, had like have a smile on his face, I guess. I don't know. And then his strength was kind of
Mm-hmm.
surprising at first, particularly when the part when he was upside down, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
is she just gonna leave him like that? And then he just got out of that like it was nothing. I was like, oh, so this whole time you could have, okay. So he's a surprising character in that sense. I was also surprised. Well, I don't know. I guess I wasn't really surprised when he couldn't really use a sword, because I guess his father passed away before, not passed away, he was murdered. Passed away before, well, I guess before he was old enough to teach him, um or like before he could teach him, but he also
Yeah.
didn't want to teach him because we saw that later. um I don't know, but so I mean, he's fine. He was an okay character. um I think the parts that for me, I guess, that stood out the most was how like he cares about others and how like forgiving he
Mm-hmm.
is. um and he also is I think loyal to those who loyal to those that he cares deeply about. Um, yeah, that's all I've got for. That's all I think about him right now. Like in terms of the character. Um, Now the actor, it was a strange transition for me.
Yeah.
Um, it was a strange shift. Like you said, the new actor Inwoo, he's did look a little. I don't know if this is good to say. I don't want to make like Jisoo is not ugly or anything, but it may be because I was just used to him and the way that he acted. Um, but I felt like this guy. I don't know why I call him this guy, but I felt like he was. I feel like he's very
Yeah.
clean cut too, and I felt like he was almost a bit prettier than Jisoo, and because Jisoo also had like the stubble along with the wig. It was like very like you know, it's like all the like the noblemen of course have like the nice like buns and like they
Mm-hmm.
look like real regal, and then he has this like kind of weird ponytail thing going on. And I was when I first saw him I was like, yeah, this doesn't fit him at all. um in I mean, it looked, he looked like a nobleman that was cosplaying as a common man. And so that's literally what I thought when I saw him. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if this is believable. Um, and then also the way that it was shot, it was just. I mean, I know that I know they reshot a lot of the scenes, but the way episode 7 was shot, it looked like there was like a lot of cuts
Oh.
to me. Like at least the way that I looked at it, like there were a lot of like solo shots with just him. Like when he was talking to someone else, you didn't like see the other person. You just saw him mostly. So I was wondering if they I guess I'm just wondering if they shot some of his scenes like by himself and then pasted it in. I don't know. To me, it just felt a little disjointed, but also maybe because I was still trying to get used to him. Because and then Jisoo also had a bit of a. He was kind of like this tall, lanky, like I don't know, a little bit of a swagger.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't know. But this guy, he was just kind of like you said, imitating. And then I don't know, in the chemistry, it still feels a little off for me. Like when they, because and I also feel like this is also a strange time. Okay, I don't. I mean, it is what it is. But so I feel like I'm like going on and on about it. But it's a strange point in as to when they made this shift. And so when we see Kajin and him in like they run away from the palace, or well they didn't really run away. I think she just left, right? But when they left and we see like their like first night, I think. And it's like really awkward. It's just weird because I was so used to Jisoo and her like have these like awkward but I like you but I don't want to tell you that I like you because I don't want to show that I like you because I'm an assassin and like I don't know. I don't know. It's just that scene was kind of weird to me. I was like I don't know. It was just weird. It was unbelievable for me. I'm not unbelievable as in like unbelievable.
Like in a good way.
Yeah, not in a good way. It was just unbelievable as in like the chemistry was off. But it's still kind of early. I don't know. But anyways, that's all I have to say. So I guess that's what I said more about like the shift than I did the actual like character. But the character himself is fine. I'm still trying to get used to him.
Yeah. I just also wanted to say when you were talking about how Jisoo, he was like a little more like rugged and had like a little more swagger to him.
Yeah.
I agree because there was something about him that like kind of pulled you in. And even though like, you know, his whole character is supposed to be like the fool of the city. I mean, not the fool of the city, fool of the ghost village or whatever. And I don't know. It just like works for him. And like I said, like the character was strong. I don't really get that from the way Inwoo is playing it. I feel like he's more playing up like his foolish side more than like the I guess the warrior side of him. I mean, warrior is in the blood of Undal anyways. So I feel like, I mean, you know, in the opening scene, we see that he's fighting. So we like at the end of the day, we know he's going to be like a fighter.
Yeah.
And so I always had that image in my head that like at some point this is who he becomes. And when Jisoo was playing, whatever. But like Jisoo, like it fit, like that image of being strong fit with him, and I don't see it. Maybe if they gave Inwoo some like sideburns, because I realized that
I was thinking the same thing.
Something like made him a little less pretty. Like not that Jisoo's ugly. Not that Jisoo's ugly. Like I always thought he was cute. I always like watching his dramas. But I don't know. There's just but there has always been he's just more manly than Inwoo. Like the look gives me like manly, like because I don't know. Because when I think of like a manly man, I just think of you know. So that's what I get. But yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to add that to what you were saying. And then when you're talking about their chemistry, I don't know. Maybe they just need to work on it. Like, you know, because technically he came in mid-season, you know, and they probably had like cast readings and stuff together to work on the chemistry. And he's like, I'm the new guy coming mid-season. Let me try. And so I don't know. But yeah, I mean, hopefully it gets better. but the characters themselves are really like they're
Yeah.
really good. I feel like their character development is good. Like it
Yeah.
really solidified who they are, and so yeah, I love the characters. Actually, I like all the characters, even the evil ones. Even they have a good storyline, like good solid character development for them, and so I don't know,
Yeah.
like I don't know, character development here is just strong. That's all I have to say. I'm done. I'm rambling now.
Yeah. Okay. No, yeah, because we're gonna talk about some of this later on in the episode as well. Okay, so moving on to our favorite scenes and the scenes that we didn't really like. So Amber,
Yeah.
going back to you, what scenes were the scenes that maybe you didn't like so much?
The scene I didn't like is where Ondel's dad gets executed because, I felt like that wasn't something that should have happened to him because he did nothing wrong except do his duty and try to protect the queen. But, people always have side agendas. So that was messed up. And then I didn't like, I guess this is all in one thing or series of scenes, but I didn't like when the nanny burned her eyes out to keep Ondal from leaving, and so that and then she was all like, so you're just gonna leave me here blind? Is that how it's gonna be? You're just gonna leave me here? And so I really didn't like the part. I mean, I understand why she did it because, like, I don't know if he was gonna go out and get revenge or go out to get his dad. I don't know what's about to happen, but she was like, he's not dying on my watch. And I like how she just kind of just moved into being his mother and everything. So, well, I guess that part I like, but I just didn't like the part that she had to actually do that. I mean, I don't know, that whole situation was messed up in the beginning. So, but yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of when the nanny burned her eyes out, I was wondering,
yeah,
like, that was like really drastic, like I don't know. I mean, I'm just wondering, like, why? Like, what was the worst? Were they trying for him to not get killed because they knew that he was the future for their people? And that was the only way that she could think of, although as drastic as it was, to ensure that he didn't try to get revenge. I don't know how to revenge he thought he was going to get.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't know how to fight or anything. But, I mean, I guess it was just emotional. Like, oh, my dad died. I'm just going to do whatever I can. So he would have died. So I'm just wondering, like, why she went to those lengths, I guess. But it was also weird because when they were at his execution, and he had yelled out, Dad, in Korean. And I think one of the guards looked at it, might have been the lead guard. I can't remember right now, but someone that looked in the audience Dad, where did that come from? And in my head, I was thinking why does it matter whether or not he was there? Unless maybe I think maybe because he was the heir, technically. Maybe. And they wanted to kill all of the people that could, but even if they killed him, wasn't there wouldn't there have been isn't there a line of secession? Isn't there okay, the leader dies, his son dies.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the whole. I don't know how things worked back then.
Okay.
I don't understand. Maybe they just wanted to kill everybody that had some sort of relation to him. Maybe so the truth didn't get out. And because if that was true, yeah, because the people in the Ghost Village got,
but the people were there,
I guess exiled because everything I wouldn't say the government, but what are they called? The king and his consultants. I don't know what to call them. Call them consultants.
I don't know.
They made them believe that the people from there were traitors and they committed treason or whatever. I don't know if it's treason, whatever. But somehow because I know later on in all the episodes they're like, yeah, Kajin asked her dad to let them be part of the, I guess, kingdom again, because they didn't do that. This was a setup. There's no reason they should be living in exile like that if they didn't do anything wrong. So yeah, I don't know how it works. All that to say, I don't know how the system works.
Okay. That was a lot to say that to be like, oh, let's say.
I don't know.
I'm not sure how it works, but okay, Melissa. I echo your thoughts. Okay, I was just wondering about that because when I saw it, I was like, why is she doing so much? But there's got to be some sort of like reason. We'll probably find out later on. So one of the scenes that I didn't like, that I didn't actually have written down, is when the princess's old nanny agreed to become basically Go Won-pyo's eyes and ears in the palace, because I think right now her role is to take care of the crown prince. And so it was after, you know what really pissed me off? When oh my goodness, the general when the general brought in, he colluded with the herbalist, and to find basically find like someone's like body, like they needed a dead body. And the whole plan was to say that, oh yeah, she's the assassin, even though they knew she wasn't really the assassin. And then he brought in the nanny because she is the one who was going around, like they thought she was a ghost. But anyways, long story short, they brought her in to identify the body, and she was like, no, that's not the princess. I was like, girl, you need to get on the program. Like, there's a plan here.
Well, remember, going, what's the man's name? Pyo. What's his name?
Go Won-pyo?
Yeah, Won-pyo. He then came to her and was like, you can either leave, I think he said, like, you could leave the palace or you could work for me. And so I think that's why, leave the palace or you can work for me so that you can stay with the crown prince. And so I think that's why she decided to go with the father, because the father has more power than General Go, however you say his name. So maybe that's why, because like I know that her and the son were in agreement at first, but then his father came back and was like, you better work for me or I'm gonna get you kicked out. And then she was like upset.
No, all that was before she identified the body. I was just really upset at that part because it was like she's weak. That's what I thought.
She was all she needed to do to survive.
Weak. Ooh. Anyways. Ooh. So that part I didn't really like. The whole like situation with her, because I really liked her and I thought she was like gonna be on the princess's, which she sort of was. She sort of was on the princess's side, but still, just that whole part, I was just like, she's a little wishy-washy. She's a little bit wishy-washy. There's a lot of characters on this show that are actually pretty wishy-washy, which is interesting, but also I guess that's part of the intrigue. Okay, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent, but going back to the scenes I don't like. I don't really. That's a part that. So the whole scene with like the nanny and her not going along with the program, and her agreeing to do whatever with the bad guy, basically being in cahoots with him. It was just kind of like, huh. But anyways, okay. Sorry, I'm all over the place. The other scene that I didn't really like, that I actually did think of, was when the twins were caught at the palace. Part of it feels like that was a setup, because out of all of the other people like from their group, they didn't seem to be the most skilled, and so I don't know if they were the right people to have been selected to finish Kajin's job. So part of it feels like that was a bit of a setup, but I don't know. Maybe it was just, maybe it wasn't. But it made me really sad when they got caught. Um, I don't know, just because I like them, I guess.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit attached to them because, especially the girl whose name I don't even know, but especially the girl because she was Gaden's friend, and yeah, so I didn't like that. I didn't like that scene. Um, so yeah, now, moving on to, I guess, scenes we did like on a happier note. Emma, what were some scenes that you did like?
I guess you could say that I have a lot of favorite scenes, because my first one is all the relationship building scenes, and that's just not with like Kajin and Ondao, but it's also with Kajin and like Ondao's mother and her relationship with the people of the village, even her relationship with her fake father. And I low key like the relation. I don't know if I say like, but I understood the relationship building of like her, I guess the king in her, the king in her, their relationship when she came back to the palace. Like you could tell they had some sort of like, I don't know if it's like a strong relationship, but they were trying to build it back. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I think I don't know, the relationships in this drama are really good. You can see the bonds between who it is and in the different types of relationship, where it's like bad blood between people or not. um the second scene that I love when Kajin, when she finally went back into the palace and was being the princess, she believed that they were trying to, I don't know if they actually were, and then they got, or if it was like a setup to make them believe that they were going to do this, but she got, whiff of this plan that they were going to try to poison the crown prince. And I love that she went to go see if it was really happening. She even tested the poison herself. And that girl was like running for her life to go save her brother and make sure that he does not drink that poison. And she didn't really care what consequences came after it. All she cared about was like her brother not dying from this potential poison. So yeah, that was two of my favorite scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, I have one more. I like when Ondal and Kajin were digging the well together, and I just thought that was really cute because you saw their relationship develop. Okay, I guess that's another relationship building scene. So yeah, okay, I'm done.
All of those were great, thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I wasn't even thinking about relationship in terms of like outside of the romantic relationships, but you brought up a really good point there. Um, Especially, I really did like the relationship between Andal's mother and her as well, because I like how at first, his mom, not her mom, his mom was kind of like, oh, you're a princess, you shouldn't be doing these type of things. Like, why are you here? And like, and I love how Kajin was just kind of like, no, like, I'm here
Mm-hmm.
as your daughter-in-law. And I just love that. And I love the shift where she was like, okay, so do this, then.
Yeah.
If you want to be my daughter-in-law so bad, you don't want to be a princess anymore. It was kind of funny, but it was kind of cute because that's how the relationship grew, I guess. And I guess, and it's also because his mother was always like kind of like, what's the word, suspicious of her from the beginning. So that was like an interesting way of them building the relationship. Anyways, and then something else you said. Oh, also, I did find it interesting, and maybe that's just a testament to a testament to her character, because I thought it was interesting how, because you had mentioned about her and her brother and how she was running to save her brother, and I thought it was very interesting how she hasn't seen these people in like 10 years, her brother or her father, but when she saw them, especially with her brothers, like it was almost like she never left,
Mm-hmm.
or at least it just seemed like she just kind of fell into pace with like it's like she didn't really have any preconceived notions that they're the reason why I lost my memory. It was just kind of, it felt like she was trying her hardest to basically be a part of the family again, sort of, is what it felt like. And I love that even though her brother was trying to kind of distance himself from her, she was the one who kept going to him, be like, no, like, you're my brother, like, what's wrong with you? And I love that. And I loved that in her running to him with the, when they thought, so yeah, that was a setup to make her look crazy. And that just proved that, was proof that she cared very deeply about her brother. And yeah, that was, it was, yeah, that was very cute. I don't know if that was cute, but I guess like the fact that she still loved him so much after being away from so long was, I guess, cute to me. I don't know, whatever. I don't know if that's the right word. But in terms of like romantic relationship building, what was actually thinking of was the relationship between Andal's best friend. I'm gonna butcher this. Hopefully that Sapunge and Pyonggang's best friend, who was one of the assassins, Terajin. So I just think theirs is really cute because Andal's friend is like kind of like very like a little bit nonchalant, like a little bit like, he's pretty nonchalant actually. Like he's very just like kind of goes with the flow, like he's kind of like in his own world a bit. I don't know if that's the right word to like describe him, but he's not like a go-getter like Andal is. But he does, but at the same time he's like very supportive. You know, everyone's just great friends in this show, it seems like. Or they're really, at least the good characters are like very loyal. Even the bad guys, we have to be loyal. Okay, never mind, going off the tangent. Well, quick, because what I was gonna say, so let me finish my thought then, I guess, since I already was going there. What I was saying was like, in terms of loyalty, like even if you're a bad guy, like if you're gonna be a bad guy, you have to have loyal followers. Otherwise, you're not gonna have any power. So I guess in that sense, I was saying that, you know, there's a lot of loyalty. Like if you're like the bad guys, like they're loyal to each other and they're loyal to their cause to overthrow the king, I guess. And then all the good guys, they're loyal to each other and they're loyal to their cause. So so that concept, I guess, of loyalty and who people are loyal to and how they're building their relationships was interesting to me. Or maybe it's just interesting now that I'm like thinking about it and thinking about building on what you had just said about the relationship building. I thought that was interesting. I think that's all I have to say about relationship building.
So I just wanted to say I agree. I love how Sapunke and Tarjan's relationship. I like how you kind of see it like blossoming a little bit. And I thought it was funny when, I don't know if it was after they helped the twins escape from the palace or some, I don't know, it was something, but her, I guess they're twins, right? So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
her brother, he noticed that something was happening between them and I could tell he didn't like it. And I just thought that was funny because, like, I don't know, for some reason I just imagine that's just how siblings are. So yeah, I just wanted to add that. I think yeah, that was a really, I don't know, it was like one of those slight relationships where, like, if you're not paying attention you might not see it. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So moving on to the storyline of the show, and what we think so far. So Amber, in terms of the storyline of the show, what do you think so far?
This storyline. Okay, so I would say that at first I wasn't sure if I was going to like the drama itself, just because it did, I don't know, it just kind of dragged. But I would say like around episode like 5.5 to 6, the storyline picked up and it made me like it more. Um And so, yeah, that's what I thought about the storyline, at least there. I mean, okay, that wasn't too much. Let me give you some more detail. I think honestly, I think the part where it really picked up is when the moment she came back to save Ondal from getting, I guess I don't know if you want to say beheaded by the general, when he tried to stop the twins from getting executed, because she came back and the only way to stop him from getting hurt was for her to say, I'm the princess, and this, like, I'm the princess, so like don't do it. So I think that's where the storyline really started to pick up, because you saw like a shift, and she's no longer Kajin the assassin. I don't know why I said it like that. But she's no longer Kajin the assassin. She's Pyeongkang. She's Kyokang, the princess. Don't know if I said the name right, but you guys know what I meant. But you just see her switch from one life to the other, and to me, that's where this all started picking up, and you started seeing, like, the king's council, like, what in the world is going on? Her dad is the king is trying to play between, like, do I, I guess, play out or try to mend this relationship by kind of letting her be her own person and just kind of do whatever I can so that, things can be amended for my mistakes in the past for killing her mom. And then him still trying to maintain being a king and keep the respect of his council that was around him. And so all this kind of started happening in that moment where I was like, okay, the storyline is really picking up. And so yeah, so that's, I mean, the storyline is strong. It's a strong storyline. It's just slow. And I'll say that the other thing, okay, sorry, I'm really going on here. I'm kind of all over the place, but like at the same time in the right place. I feel like I don't know, I may feel like the beginning dragged on a little bit, because I feel like it was very focused on all of the side stories rather than like the main characters and how their story affects these side stories. Like, they showed a lot of what was happening at the palace, and then they showed a lot of what was happening within the assassins, and Ondal and Kajin weren't even in there. And so I'm just sitting here and watch these people come up with schemes for like 5-10 minutes, and I'm just like, that could have been done in like 2 minutes. But I guess, but now thinking about it, it's probably needed to give like a solid base for seeing what's happening now and what's going to go on forward within the drama. But I feel like those first like 5 episodes could be cut down into 2. But I mean, yeah, so that is officially all I have to say about the storyline.
Yeah, for me, I agree with you that the first few episodes, they kind of dragged on, it was a little slow. I think part of it, like you said, was maybe I wasn't sure like what the issue was for me, but like, yeah, it was pretty slow. But now that you're saying that, which I agree that I didn't even say what you said, but sorry, I said it in my head. But you were talking about how a lot of the episodes at the beginning were centered around the side characters, and now that I'm thinking about it, you're right, and maybe that's why it felt a little slow to me, because part of it was I was confused, and the other part of it is like political intrigue isn't necessarily like the most exciting thing for me.
Yeah,
because I'm like, and I don't know, and this probably sounds so bad, but also because like they talk a lot in this show too, and so when I'm reading the subtitles, it's like, wow, like I think my eyes get tired.
Yeah,
and like so it wasn't. It's so. I probably sound lazy, y'all, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, a lot of the beginning episodes it's like political intrigue and like scheming, and like you had to like keep up to see what's going on in each of the different areas. You have to keep up with what's going on with the assassins. You had to keep up what's going on with the Sheila spy lady. You have to keep up what's going on in the palace. You got to keep up what's going on in the ghost village. So there's so many different scenes, and there's so much going on in each area. Like I felt like it was just a lot, and I was getting kind of lost. And so for me, it just started to build momentum like episode 10. And I think it's because a part of it was like, okay, when she declared herself as, you know, like, hey, I'm the princess. For me, that was the part where I was like, okay, so where are we gonna go from here? Because I don't know, like for me, I was just kind of like, where's the story going? But in episode 10, I think it was either 9 or 10, where we start to see. Actually, I find the relationship between the herbalist. I don't know if she's called the herbalist. I call her an herbalist because she deals with herbs. But her and this new relationship between the assassins is actually really interesting to me. And maybe that's why for me, I was like, oh, like that was interesting to me. Like seeing how these two worlds are. So I guess we're really at this turning point now in the series where like all of these different worlds are starting to collide. And like you said, those earlier episodes seem to have just been building the foundation for where we're about to head into. So that's exciting. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what that relationship with the assassins and the herbalist is going to look like moving forward. And yeah, that's how I feel about it so far. I was also okay. No, I have one more thing to say. I guess I think the general's a little bit pathetic, but I'm not sure yet.
I agree. Man,
because the reason why I'm saying that is because he's had this what's it called? Like he's had this like, what is it called when like this yearning for he's liked her since she was little, which also made me question like how old is he, how old is she, and like whatever. They haven't really gotten into that.
I was wondering the same thing. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
Oh no. But that's all I was gonna say. Mostly was that I feel like he's a little pathetic because he really likes her and he really wants her, which is kind of creepy, but she's just like, no, I don't want you, you'll never have me. But he's just like, no, I'm gonna have you. I'm like really abbreviating, like paraphrasing this whole situation. And so I think that's also part where I kind of tuned out when I was watching the show. I was like, okay, he's pathetic. But and he's a little creepy how like he was like, oh, she's gonna be my woman. I was like, boy, what is wrong with you? She's a human being and she doesn't want you. Right. That's the only thing I had to say about the storyline in the show.
Well, I just want to add on see what you were just saying. Yeah, I was trying to figure out how old they were because I remember that when they were little, I think she maybe she was only like a year or two younger or 2 or 3 years younger than him, because when she was younger and he was training her, he was still pretty young himself.
He looked
young. Yeah, I don't know. That was so weird. But I feel like that wasn't even necessary for him to confess that he loved her, or even for his character to be in love with her. Like, I don't know. There was just something, I really like this idea that, like, you know, he is like one of her good friends from like the past, like, you know what I'm saying? Because like he just seemed like a really good partner and companion to have in the palace that was on her side.
Same.
And I like that role that he was playing at first without adding in this him being in love, because you're right, it made him look pathetic.
Yeah.
He looked crazy. He was crying over a woman that didn't a woman that he didn't see in over 10 years.
Thank you.
It's been 10. I don't know, Melissa. It just dawned on me. It's ridiculous because the way he was acting about her, saying that she didn't like him that way, that that she liked someone else, was as if like they had been friends for years, and they like he was there beside her. He was her ride or die from the beginning. The way this man was acting, oh my gosh. And I don't know, he's also like, I feel like his character is like a pawn in like everyone's like scheme. Like they just use him however, and I guess that's also like what you said, it kind of adds, I mean, like him being pathetic, it adds to him being pathetic. Like he has no he has no like,
he has no real purpose.
Yeah, like he has no ground to stand on. It's kind of like, oh, you want me here, okay. And every time he does try to find his own ground, it just fails. Like he or he thinks he's finding his own ground, but someone's already 5 steps ahead, knowing that he's going to make that move. But I will also say this, is that the herbalist that we find out is actually a spy. I kind of like their relationship a little bit, the general and hers, because I don't know, I just do. Because part of me feels like he kind of, like, I don't know, it's like they're enemies, but they're friends. But like, I feel like something romantic could blossom from there if the, you know, the drama wants to take it that way. Because like, you know, in episode 10, he comes and saves her from being killed by the assassins. So I'm like, what is this? Because he looked like he really cared. Like I could see them, like them being something and having a relationship is more realistic than him and the princess having anything. So or I'm sorry, Kajin, because she, you know, she denounced her princessness. So so yeah, I just wanted to say that. Oh, also I agree with you that, you know, I agree with you. I had so much to say. I agree with you that, you know, for me, I do feel like it kind of picked up in 5 and 6, but I think that I agree with you. I feel like in 10, that's really when, well, like 9 or 10 is when things started really taking off, and you're like, oh, okay, I see where things are about to go now. Because, you know, they get like, you know, like the people to get ready to fight for their right to be part of the kingdom again. So I guess it's kingdom, whatever. Okay, I got a little too excited. I'm done.
All right, so those were our thoughts about the storyline. So now moving on to our predictions. So what we think is going to happen next. So Amber, what do you think is going to happen next?
I think the people are going to rise up from the Ghost Village, and they're going to fight for their right to be a part of the kingdom again.
Okay.
But also, I believe that Kajin at the end of this will become queen. Like I fully believe it. And Wampio is gonna get taken down for sure. Like something's gonna happen, and he's gonna get kicked out, and he's gonna look crazy. And and I think that the general goal, like his own son, is going to be the one to help take him down. Like I feel like the king has something up his sleeve, and something will happen. I also feel as though Jinbi, the queen, the new queen, I guess, she's a little shady, and I think she will also go down with Wampio, because I know they had like a whole thing. Like even from the beginning, those two were scheming. Are they the reason that the queen got murdered?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, there's just
because Wampio gave her the talisman. The talisman? I'm probably saying it wrong. It's an English word. Why am I saying it wrong? Talisman. To put underneath the queen's, or to put in the queen's, like something about the queen. He gave her something with the talisman to do something to it. I think it's to put in the queen's room or something like that, from what I remember.
And that's where the whole accusation started, right?
Yeah. Okay. Oh no, it was a
letter.
You're right. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I think she's gonna go down too, and then they're gonna find out that her son isn't really the king's son, but they were over here trying to make it seem like the princess wasn't really his daughter, trying to play games when it's really the opposite way around. So yeah, that's all I had on predictions. I mean, I have like one question. I don't know if I should wait on saying that, or should I?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna say it. It kind of goes with Ondal because I'm curious because like in the last episode, not the last episode, but like in episode 6, you see that not 6, episode 10, you you see that his father had told the nanny that he never wanted to teach him about it, about how to fight with a sword because he didn't want him to have to kill people and, you know, have people's blood on his hands. And so the nanny has worked really hard for that. And then the father had also told him, like, you know, live your life as a fool. But here comes Kajin walking in, trying to, you know, get the people hyped up. And they know they're getting ready to go into battle. And I'm curious why Ondal decided to go against what his father, like his, I guess in a sense, his father's last dying wish for him, because he's been living by it for all these years. You know, he's just been playing the fool, like his dad said, you know, not really causing any trouble. And so I'm curious why. I mean, I guess it's love. His love will make you do crazy things, but I'm just curious why now, out of all things, or out of all people, he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna listen to my dad or my mother. I'm gonna, you know, man up and do what I need to do for my people. So yeah.
Was that a rhetorical question?
No, I mean, it was just a question. I mean, if you have an answer or a thought to it, that's fine. But I was just wondering that, like, why?
I mean, I have an opinion, and I guess my opinion is yes. I mean, when you said, I was like, ugh, because he loves her, duh.
Okay.
But but you said it, so I was like, oh, okay. But outside of that, I also feel like outside of that, I feel like Kajin. I feel like Kajin also brought hope to them, and like a hope that they can be more than what they are now. And so I think that's also maybe why he's feeling like, I guess, more courage to go against what his father said, or against how his father, you know, wanted him to live, because she's, you know, like you said, like she's amping up the people, and she has like she has some semblance of like power because she's the princess. And so, and she's over here like, okay, we're gonna get people from the villages and we're gonna pull them together and we're gonna really go for it. And so I think that's also part of it. Like before, like they were just content living how they were living, you know, scaring away the poachers, caring for all the animals, digging wells, living quietly, because they didn't even think maybe that they had the, I don't know that they didn't have like the opportunity. I think maybe because they didn't have the opportunity to. I think part of it is that they didn't have the opportunity. Like they like there was no one really on their side. I felt like that would give them the opportunity to go back into society. Those are my thoughts about your question, I guess.
Yeah.
But okay, so I guess for me, I don't know, I think I was a little all over the place when I was thinking about this because I don't know what's gonna happen, but I was thinking that I agree with you. It's interesting that you said that you think the general's like gonna go back to like, didn't you? I think you said he's gonna like basically be a good guy again, or like the kids of the king has something up his sleeve.
Oh yeah, I think he's gonna turn on his father and be the reason his father gets taken down as well.
Yeah, I think so too. Because even from the beginning, I mean, before like you said, the weird love triangle thing started, he had said that, you know, oh yeah, princess, I'm gonna be for you. Like if I had to choose, like I don't need both of them. I was like, okay, that's so dramatic. Yeah. It's like I don't. But so I think he's gonna go back to that as well. Like I think he's gonna flip to being a good guy again. Even though right now he's kind of crazy. And I also think that, I think I mentioned this earlier, I guess, but I think that I don't know. Again, this is probably not gonna happen, but I feel like the Shilla and the Sunabu are gonna like maybe come to some sort of agreement. I don't know what kind of agreement, but like, cause they're both. Well, the Shilla isn't really. They're not really like outsiders. I don't really know. They don't really show too much about. They haven't shown too much about them. They seem like they could be bad guys because that's who they were selling off the women to. Did I interpret that correctly? Because I know technically they said they were going somewhere else, but they didn't actually go where they were supposed to go because I think they were selling them off to the Shilla. I don't know. I just feel like, and maybe they have nothing to do with like what's going to go on in the storyline, but I guess I was thinking because the lady is a spy, that maybe I don't know, maybe they would like come to some sort of agreement, and that the herbalist would end up on the side of the Sunabu, I guess, and so I don't know the Sunabu, and I guess because Kajin's going to go around and like get people from different villages. And the herbalist seems to be she's one of those wishy-washy characters where like she seems to put her alliances with who she thinks is going to, I don't
protect
know,
her?
win.
Say protect her, or what if she has to do like who she'll survive with, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I guess survive. Well, yeah, because she seems to like almost die in like almost a lot of episodes. Like every other episode, someone's trying to kill her. So yeah, maybe it's whoever's gonna protect her. And so like we just saw in this episode, the general saved her, and we know that he is okay. We don't know, but we both think he's gonna flip, and so she's gonna feel indebted to him, and because he is in cahoots with the Sunabu, because of the princess, she is going to then come to an. That's how the agreement is going to be made. That's what's going to happen, and it's going to go back to her people and be like, yeah, if we go with the general and his people, we're gonna be able to do this or do something like, I don't know. They're gonna come to some sort of like formal agreement. Okay, anyways, that's what's gonna happen. Oh, I also think that the Chanchubang, the assassins, I think they're gonna all like die, and except for the twins. And those are my thoughts about it.
Okay. Well, clearly we had a lot of thoughts. Honestly, if I can be honest with you guys, because like I feel like we're close now. We had half of that not written down. Majority of our thoughts right now are never written down. So, is there anything else, like just overall about anything else that we talked about today that you wanted to, add to?
No, I just feel like this drama could go like a million different ways. And I'm interested to see what's going to happen. Like, is she going to become the queen? Is she not going to become the queen? Is she just going to become the new leader? What if Amba becomes the leader, taking over from his father? And then she marries him, and they become leaders together, and they overthrow. What if they take out the whole, like, there's no more monarchy? This could be the end of the monarchy.
Possibly.
Amber. Okay, that's all I had to say.
That's a prediction right there. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, you never know. For me, I have one thing. I mean, I know we didn't mention her when we were talking about the characters, but was it Wally, the little girl in the village? Oh. Yeah, like she's one of my favorite characters. I don't know. She knows everything. She's always gossiping. Yes. And I don't know. I just really like her. Yeah, she's just one of my favorite characters. I just kind of want to add that in there.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about her at all. And like offline, we were like, yeah, I love her so much. She's such a good character. And then we just get off here and we didn't even talk about her at all. But yeah, I also really enjoyed her. She's so cute. And she's like, and I love that she is like the neighborhood gossiper who just knows everything. Like, go girl, how do you know all this? And she's very wise beyond her
Mm-hmm.
years.
She's just,
And
I don't know. Well, I guess from living in that village and, being part of a people that's been, pushed to the side, I guess you kind of have to grow up just a little bit. But, like, there's something so very kid-like to her. So, well, she is a child. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so that's the last thing I wanted to say. So, yeah, you guys, that's it. That's the that's all we had to say about this drama mid-season, so, like, please let us know what you think of it so far. If you're watching it, how you feel about all of it, what you think, if you agree with what, we had to say, if you have some other opinions, you can chat with us on Discord. The link is in the description. If you like this episode and want to hear more, subscribe to the podcast. Thank you for listening. Continue to be safe, and we will talk to you next week.